Yo, what's up YouTube? Good Grind back here with another one, and today we got a tier 100 Nightmare Dungeon showcase for you guys, and we're going to be running Sarat's Lair. And diving right into it, I want to preface the video by saying this specific dungeon had the Stormbane's Wrath affix, which in my opinion was a massive hindrance. Without it, I probably could have shaved anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes off the top of my time. I was having to avoid and maneuver the Stormbane's Wrath, which is the rock that slams down periodically whenever getting close to the player, creating an AoE explosion that will almost certainly kill you on tier 100 Nightmare Dungeons. It took me a while to notice, but once I did, I had realized that I had forgotten to pop my Iron Skin Elixir, which just furthered the difficulty of the dungeon and actually gave me a little bit of a challenge and presented a situation where I could actually test the full capabilities of my build and spec. Even without the Iron Skin Elixir though, as you can see, I was pretty much able to run through the dungeon flawlessly. There was only a handful of situations where I even felt as if though I came close to dying. Now some might not even acknowledge this as a notable feat. However, in my opinion, it's actually quite impressive due to the fact that when comparing the total armor on my build compared to those who claim to have tier 100 tanky Nightmare Dungeon pushing rogues, then you can see that I have anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 less total armor on my base build. With that being said, some people were making the claim preseason that you couldn't push tier 80, let alone tier 100 Nightmare Dungeons, if you didn't have at least 8,000 total armor. Not only is this not the case now, but I'd argue that it wasn't the case preseason either, considering the fact that right now my build has 7,300 total armor, and as you can see, I can run these tier 100 Nightmare Dungeons pretty much with ease. Now granted, this is once again a Nightmare Dungeon that's geared for the rogue playstyle in my opinion. However, I do think that with that in consideration, the feat of me running this tier 100 without an Iron Skin Elixir is a little bit more impressive than, say, somebody that has 9,000 base total armor. The way that I make up for not having an exorbitant amount of total armor is a simple trade-off. Instead of picking up offensive stats on maybe my chest piece or amulet, I pick up all defensive stats, all damage reduction, total armor, and max life. The reason for this being is that my Paragon board specifically is more geared towards the offensive side of things. I've seen a lot of people spec out Paragon boards for hardcore defense, a lot of damage reduction, a lot of max life, a lot of total armor. And I absolutely think that that's viable. However, my approach to things is to kind of do the opposite. Like I said, I run all defensive stats on my chest piece and amulet, and then when it comes to my Paragon board, that leans more towards the offensive side of things, picking up all the extra imbuement skill damage and different multipliers like that that I can't get on my amulet or chest piece. If it was absolutely necessary and I was given the choice, I would probably switch out a few things. Mainly, I want 2 ranks of all imbuements on my amulet. I'd probably trade that out for damage reduction from poison enemies because I just find that not to be a very good stat. Apart from that, I would maybe respec my Paragon board a little bit to grab, for example, damage reduction from elite enemies because that's a very good spec. However, I don't think there's very much that I need to change up at this moment. But that's just because going into Season 1, I already had the mindset of crafting what I call the Terminator Rogue. And essentially all that is a very tanky, brute force, unstoppable rogue that can still demolish and obliterate enemies with that blasted poison damage that I had honed in my preseason. The whole point was to craft a rogue that was versatile and able to carry you to any achievement that you sought after at any stage of your progression. Mainly though, I wanted to retain and refine the ability to actually run these tier 100 Nightmare Dungeons though. And as you can see throughout this video, I feel as if though I've achieved my goal. Now that I've gotten to where I feel like this build is viable and most importantly acceptable to show to you guys, I wanted to put out this showcase and then also start to roll out a build guide for you guys so that you can test it for yourself and let me know what you think. It should be noted that I am still testing a few things, mainly aspects, a few skills, and I'm still gear grinding to get the perfect rolls on everything. I've gotten progressed enough to where the foundation of this build is laid, and there's only a few things that I need to work on refinement wise. So even though it's not at peak performance right now, this build is still going to be very viable, and I'm sure some of you will have the gear to make it even better than what I have. But with all that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and let the video play so you guys can focus and see what the build's capable of for yourself. If you're interested in that guide, other strategies, or Diablo 4 content in general, don't forget to subscribe. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to drop any questions or feedback you might have down in the comment section. Quick side note, if any of you are interested and want a direct link to me, or are maybe interested in playing with me, I have my Discord not only linked on my channel page but down in the description. I'm going to be trying to do different community activities on there and get that a little bit more active. Like I said though, if you want a direct line to me or you want to play with me, that's the best place to get in touch with me, so feel free to join that. And thanks for watching. Peace out, guys. Here at the end, I didn't want to spoil too much, but just so you guys can see it, here's my stat sheet, and this will pretty much be anything you need to know in regards to how much lucky hit, crit chance, or anything like that I have. Specifically, I recommend looking at that damage reduction like I said before.